There's probably going to be 80 million plus different emotions, sets of emotions. It's the population of Germany. Definitely an east-west split. Overall, a feeling of gratefulness that it occurred. Certainly in the east, some questions about why it took so long to catch up, and will they ever catch up? For instance, as we were just hearing, sort of, the economic disparities, the income gap. There are 80 universities in Germany, and all of the rectors are from West Germany, for instance. About 2% of the boards of German companies are made up of people from East Germany. So those are questions I think people might be asking. And it's very, very regional. In certain parts of East Germany, we're hearing about the coal industry was devastated. People may be feeling hard done by, and they look at the refugees who came in, who were given German lessons and job training. A quarter of those refugees now have jobs, and they feel like, well, we would have liked to be welcomed that way back into the new country. So a whole bunch of different, I think, emotions, a recognition, I think, for people who are not members of the Alternative for Germany, that it really represents a kind of return to the past, some of the dark ideas of the 1930s, a rejection of human rights, a rejection of the other, a rejection of tolerance. So it's a day for thinking about the past and thinking about the present and imagining what kind of future Germans want and how to go about achieving it.
Yeah, Nick, what I'm really taking away from what you're saying and what I've been hearing as well here in the studio is that 30 years on from the fall of the Berlin Wall, the healing process actually isn't over by any means. And there are fractures, there are these inequalities, and it may be those fractures that have been exploited by people who have now, they have been useful fractures to bring about the rise of, as you say, the AfD. And just last week there were reports of what was called a Nazi emergency in the city of Dresden. Clearly Germany is in a moment of deep reflection, and today will be a very big part of that, I'd have thought.
It is, and it's really interesting to look at the uses of history now in contemporary politics, because the Alternative for Germany is, to use your word, and many people here would use it as well, exploiting the fall of the Berlin Wall and the reunification of Germany, because in Germany it's called the Turn, the Wende, and AfD is promising its voters the Wende 2.0. We're going to complete the turn. It wasn't completed. The wall fell, and the reunification and the turn towards democracy was not completed, but we'll complete it for you once you vote for us into office, and we'll get rid of the refugees and so on, and a whole bunch of things. So history is being used and exploited, I think it's safe to say, by the Alternative for Germany, to the outrage of many of the dissidents who risked prison or went to prison in order to bring about the end of East Germany. They have very strong words for the, it must be pointed out, leaders of the Alternative for Germany who largely come from West Germany, or the former West Germany, coming to the eastern regions to use these old feelings and these ideas in order to gain political office. And some people have compared that to the way the Western German government privatized large parts of the East German economy, a kind of corporate takeover, corporate raid. This is a kind of a political corporate raid from Western politicians on the far right of the resentments of East German voters.
Okay, sounds like there is an element of unfinished business to all of this. Thank you very much indeed for that, Nick Spicer. Nick standing by for us there in Berlin.